Introduce our veteran special guest.
Numerous times, Derek LeBlanc's been on with us and talking about kids and teaching kids guns and all the fun stuff and stuff that Klint and I do, but he's doing it on a whole new level.
Whole new level.
How you been, my friend?
I've been good. Thanks for having me. It's great seeing you guys.
See you, man.
Appreciate being here. And so I'm Derek LeBlanc, president of the Kids S.A.F.E Foundation. We're a 501c3 nonprofit based in Oregon. We teach firearm safety and accident prevention to kids. And we've been a nonprofit since 2016. We just went over 30,000 kids reached in 9 states. Wow. And taught them life-saving skills and life skills as well, because we get them on the range as well and teach them, gun safety and get them exposed in a positive way. And so we're here, and great to have the opportunity to speak to your guests about the importance of gun safety and how we can normalize this conversation for our kids and our families.
30,000. I mean, just the logistics of that, the sheer numbers. How many people are on your team, and have you been involved in each one of those interactions?
Every one of them's come through my hand in some way. It could have been given a band. It could have been given a temporary tattoo. It could have been teaching them to shoot in a BB gun range. We have these Daisy outdoor inflatable BB gun ranges, and we've reached over 22,000 kids through those ranges. And basically, it's a big bounce house that we blow up, and it's got 2 slits where the kids can put their muzzle through the slits and they can shoot targets. And there, in those 22,000 kids, they're getting a 4 basic safety rules, safety brief before we step in. They're putting safety glasses on, and they're getting to get, a lot of them are experiencing their first shots, and
that's awesome.
And that way we can start them on this path to responsible gun ownership and start them as young as 3 years old with those.
Yeah, BB guns are a great way to start that. I mean, we talk about as instructors being able to do something like a CERT laser gun. Thank you, CERT, sponsors by the way. Moving up through BB guns, or moving up to a 22 and then a bigger caliber. So that's pretty neat. I think BB guns aren't used as much as they used to be back
That was
in the
my
day.
first gun.
Mine too.
I got one at 3. I got one at 3 years old, and literally changed my life.
Yeah.
And I shot the first barrel out at 6 years old, so I had to upgrade to a 10 pump, because that's all I would do when I was a kid, because I live rurally in Oregon, and so I just go out and shoot, and never shot my eye out, which is great.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's what we're advocating, don't shoot your eye out. But obviously, it's a great learning tool. And I actually toured the Daisy facility this year. I went to the Daisy Red Ryder Museum, their air gun museum, and they've sold over 1 billion of those air rifles since 1896.
Where's that located?
That's in Rogers, Arkansas. And if you guys are in the area, I highly recommend check it out, because if we're talking about our two-way rights, I mean, you think of the sheer impact of what Daisy has done, having those be the first shots, and getting that. And now starting them on their path, and then they can get a rimfire, and then they're getting the handguns, and now they're voting, and then so it's everything I'm looking at from a lens is from safety, advocacy, but also this is a generational thing for us. And as we're getting older, we have to prepare the next round of citizenry for the responsibility of preserving our civil liberties.
Yeah,
Amen.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's great. So. And now are you doing the camps all over the country? Is predominantly in Oregon?
Yeah. So we're branching out. We're going to Midwest. This will be our second time to the Midwest, where we did 4-state tour, which is Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. We're going to be in Texas by May. Received a grant to go there to teach those kids, gun safety, and be a part of the conversation. And that's the thing is everybody, it's a kind of a taboo situation, right? They want to take away our ability to educate our kids, but we can prove through the sheer volume of kids that we reach that we've had 30,000 kids reach through the program with 0 accidents. Okay. And so that says something, and I'm kind of here to use your microphone to kind of demand that kind of attention, because everybody wants to demand something, and I was like, we don't want to demand, but we want to present viable solutions, and we want the opportunity to be able to make sure our kids are protected the way we see fit.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've done a lot with youth in high school shooting sports and things like that, and people are like, oh, I don't want a gun, like. Trap teams, 3-position small bore, whatever, like 0 accidents. Absolutely. And more kids get concussions and jacked up from football and sports. And it's like, okay, that, and I'm not saying anything against sports, because it's physical, like people, are going to potentially get hurt doing that, but they'll be like, oh, we can't have this, but we can have this. They don't want to spend money to harden the doors, but they'll, and protect the children, but they'll spend $2 million on a new football stadium and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So people are definitely misguided.
The priorities. We got to, and that's where we have to change the angle of the lens, right? And show that, you know, what you brought up with the clay and the shooting sports there. That's actually, the data supports that that's really the safest activity for our children, because there's virtually zero accidents there because of the way everything's regimented.
Yeah.
And so, and our analogy is the hot burner, right? You tell your kid not to touch the hot burner, first thing they do is do that, right? And that's how our kids learn, is through that trial and error. The problem is with the burner.
My dad said the boy needs to learn disappointment.
Absolutely.
So he let me touch the burner. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the gun though, it could be fatal or life altering.
Yeah.
So that's where we're saying, okay. But I look to the parents as well, because this is a family thing, and the goal is making sure the parents know when the gun comes off us, it goes into a secure location. We like the Vaultex; they're one of our title sponsors. We love the technology, and it's intuitive. But also educating those kids as well that this is not a toy. This is not something we play with. And I think, you know, video games and Nerf airsoft kind of sets a bad example for young kids, because we're just pointing at 4 years old. We're pointing Nerf guns at each other, which I think age appropriateness is really important. So if we have rules, we have a set boundary, then that's totally acceptable. But with young kids, they don't know what's real, what's not real, and so we're pointing like 4 years old. And I guess one of my beef with the Nerf guns is they always, every year, faster rate of fire, longer effective range, yet when a tragedy happens, like around the country, they're quick to blame the gun instead of the 18 steps that led up to that tragedy. And there's always a sign. There's always a sign, and we have to educate our kids to look out for those signs, because they're going to be first responders. We talk about that in our class as well. Is they're going to hear something on the playground, could be on the bus, it could be in the hallway. There's going to be a threat of violence. We have to take them seriously, and we have to get the proper people involved. We stopped a school shooting in Oregon, literally 8 minutes from my home, because of a kid that had been through our program. And it's easy to do. We just have to start talking about it.
That's the knowledge. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Super. So how do people check out what you're doing and get involved and donate and send people your way?
So you find everything on our social medias. We're on Facebook. We're about 11,000 followers there. YouTube, we have 250,000 subscribers there, and on our website as well, KidsSAFEFoundation.org. There's 2 S's there. You can donate. You can get involved. You can if you're in the industry and you're looking for a cause, this is a cause you can get behind, because it's something that's pure. It's something that's going to benefit the gun community in the long run. And I'm looking generational, as we all should.
It's going to benefit our country.
Absolutely.
I mean, it already is.
Absolutely.
That's it. Cool. Well, check them out and help them out.
Thank you.